Good afternoon and welcome back to the Narragansett Trail. I left off here at the High Ledge Overlook a year ago. Worth it. And now it's time to hike the next section out past Bear Cave. Assuming you're coming from Wyasip Lake, you'll climb up this steep hill and you'll see this sign. Now the Narragansett continues that way to the overlook, and there isn't a blaze trail, but you can pretty easily follow this path. You'll join this access road, and a little bit down it you will reach the Legend Wood Shelter. You've got this cozy lean-to. Pretty roomy. Got a log book and a bottle opener, and says it was rebuilt in October 2005 by Stephen Hedler. Thanks, Stephen. You've got a fire pit here and some good space around it. And I think the only thing to note is that there isn't any water near the site, so you have to get some and bring it up. All right, back to the trail. This next stretch has a letterboxing cache, part of the seedling series that the DEP forestry unit does. Check out the ledges, and you can probably hear the spring peepers. We have reached an abandoned section of Legend Wood Road, although it does look like vehicles come down it occasionally, and we'll follow it a little bit before jumping back on actual trail. Next stop, Bear Cave, is part of Bullet Ledges, and it looks like we're getting close. Rounding a corner, and I'm gonna guess that this is it. So let's see how far we can get in there. Thankfully there's a second entrance above that first one, and I think it'll be easier to drop in than crawl through that gap over there. Oh yeah, pretty good size. And thankfully, fairly well lit, so that I don't need a headlamp. Check that out. Came at the right time for the sun to go all the way through. See if I can get down there. Pretty good sized chamber. And it does keep going. It'll probably get a little dirty, but gotta check it out. So I was able to crawl through that narrow little gap, and it does end in this last chamber here, and There's a geocache. Official geocache. Legend Wood. Goes back to at least 2012. Doesn't have a date for when it went in. But as long as there's a pen, there's my entry. So that was Bear Cave, and you know, reasonably dirty. Now, let's hike up around Bullet Ledge. Looks like we got a little overlook here. Mostly a high ledge, a little bit of a view. Continue on the trail. Now once again, the story of the Yawgoog Trail site has the info on the naming of the cave, and he says that the Mohegans might have called the place Sneaksook, which means house in a stone ledge, and the modern name, Bear Cave, he cites from the history of New London County, which I think is 1882. Tells the story of Israel Hewitt, who was a noted hunter sometime around 1750, and he lived over on Winnichog Hill, which is an earlier part of the Narragansett Trail, and he tracked an old bear who had been ravaging the farms and livestock in the area to that cave, and it reminds me a lot of Wolf Den over in Mashmucket up in Pomfret, where this Israel Hewitt, climbed into the cave, saw the light from the eyes of the bear, and fired his gun, killing it. And that is the modern story of why it's called Bear Cave. Interesting stretch here. Try and block the sun so you can see better. Pair of stone walls coming down, going off in this direction. You got a little enclosure here, and another one there. Definitely for some kind of farming, but cool to think about what it looked like in the past. Beautiful little stretch along this brook. Nice clear water, tiny little cascades. Cascades just keep going and going. Yeah. Great stretch of trail right through here. The last stretch has definitely been less traveled than the first 2 or 3 miles. And now that we're heading south, we must be getting close to the road and the end of this section. So I have left the brook behind me and rejoined Legend Wood Road, and I'm about 5 miles out. So I don't know what the official distance for this section is, but that setting sun behind me means that I've got about an hour until sunset, and this wouldn't be a Narragansett Trail movie if I wasn't rushing to get back before dark. So the next stretch, this Legend Wood Road, should connect to Route 49, and then the Griswold Sportsman's Club closed their section of trail. So it's like a 1.5 mile, maybe even more, road walk to the Green Falls area. And I don't think I'm going to wait a whole year to do that section, so check out for that later this year. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and not show you the actual road so that I can get back. And until then, I'll see you next time.